We're here for you.
Welcome back. As the city of Venice prepares to begin a major road construction project, there are some concerns about what changes will be made and if those changes will have a negative impact on the downtown area. ABC 7's Christopher Brantley is joining us live from Venice with more there. Christopher.
Good evening, Haley. This $18 million road project was approved by voters last November. Nevertheless, there have been some concerns surrounding it. For instance, the losing of around 18 parking spaces downtown. In one of the original plans for the work, city staff proposed removing 18 parallel parking spaces from Venice Avenue. The reason behind that was because when drivers approach some of the intersections, they are unable to see pedestrians who may be queuing up before walking across the street. So far, the city says there haven't been any serious accidents because of those blind spots, but the intersections do not pass Florida Department of Transportation rules. So in this road rebuilding, a solution must be made. The City Council wasn't thrilled with the idea of removing 18 parking spaces, so they opted for another option, adding stop signs to Venice Avenue downtown at the cross streets of Nassau Street and Nokomis Avenue.
With stop signs, we're not required to remove any of those additional parking spaces, but we will increase some of the concrete bulb outs, and there will be some spaces lost near crosswalks where the visibility just wasn't far enough so that you could see a pedestrian coming out to the road.
And as you heard City Engineer Kathleen Whedon say, there will still be some spots that will be lost, but we're talking more 4 or 5 rather than 18. This project is set to begin next April. Haley?
And Christopher, why is the city putting so much focus on redoing these downtown roads?
Well, Venice Avenue, for instance, has been repaved several times in the past, but the foundation of the roadway is original from the 1920s. That's why the road is all cracked and uneven and bumpy. The foundation is the main center, the main hub of the work they want to do downtown. Live in Venice, Christopher Brantley, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Christopher. Home prices in Florida keep going up while the number of homes being sold also going up. And that's according to new data from the industry group Florida Realtors. The statewide median sales price for a single-family home is now $245,000, up nearly 9% from a year ago. Realtors say the number of homes available for sale, well, that is relatively low compared to the number of prospective buyers. The president of the Tallahassee Board of Realtors says it is a seller's market right now.
What we're really experiencing are multiple offers. When homes are put on the market in really good condition, priced correctly, they sell fast.
More than 28,000 single-family homes were sold statewide in June, up 4% from a year ago. Prices on townhouse and condo properties are also on the rise. The statistics show fewer short sales and foreclosures compared to last June. Florida Governor Rick Scott wants to give law enforcement a raise. The pay increase will be for Florida State Highway Patrol troopers, wildlife officers, and law enforcement officers. Legislators have already agreed to give the nearly 4,000 sworn law enforcement officers a 5% raise. Scott wants an additional $30 million set aside for 2018. That money would be used to help recruit and retain officers. A new partnership will hopefully bring more medical professionals to the Suncoast. The University of South Florida, Sarasota Manatee is teaming up with Lake Erie College to offer qualified students degrees in dentistry or osteopathic medicine. Those accepted will get early admission into the college's osteopathic medicine program in Lakewood Ranch. The partnership comes after a recent report of the lack of medical professionals on the Suncoast. LECOM will admit up to 5 USF students a year. Now we're going to head over to Bob and get a check on this steamy forecast.
Haley, right now we're looking at some showers and some storms mainly into the central portion of the state. That's where a little bit more moisture is, but not much at all. Good afternoon. High pressure continues to dominate the weather over much of the eastern Gulf of Mexico. That's suppressing our normal afternoon and evening thunderstorms, or Mother Nature's air conditioners, I like to call it. It doesn't appear that we're going to see things cool down all that much this evening. The heat index up 98 right now. But with temperatures in the sun setting, temperatures trying to cool down in places like, Lake Placid up to Sebring and Arcadia, they will get a little cooler, but not the coastal locations across Manatee County and Sarasota County. Venice Also not seeing much action. It's getting a little closer. Punta Gorda, some showers nearby. This one lone cell has popped up and then quickly gone away, just as quickly as it popped up. South Punta Gorda. Punta Gorda not getting a lot of rainfall right now, at least in the immediate city there. We're going to see that increase, though, in time. It's really dry. This area is dry around town, but more importantly, it's the high-pressure ridge which is suppressing the storms that we would normally see right now, and it looks like that will stick around at least through Friday. 91 degrees right now. It's 93 in Tallahassee. It's 92 in Orlando and 91 in Miami, and 89 into Key West. And temperatures, you factor in the humidity, 101 in Tallahassee and 102 Key West. We're the coolest reading here along the West Coast at 98, but Jacksonville getting some air off the Atlantic there, keeping things a bit cooler. We'll have more in the forecast in just a few minutes. Haley?
Thank you, Bob. Congressman Steve Scalise has been released from the hospital. He will now start an intensive inpatient rehabilitation process. The 51-year-old congressman has been recovering from life-threatening gunshot wounds for the past 6 weeks. Scalise, along with 4 others, were injured on June 14th when a gunman opened fire at a baseball field where members of the Republican congressional baseball team were practicing. The gunman was killed by law enforcement during a shootout shortly after. New policy changes are coming to Minneapolis's body cam laws after a string of high-profile police shooting incidents. Today, the acting police chief announcing body cams must be activated every time police respond to a call. ABC's Maggie Rulli has the latest.
We need to build and regain our community's trust.
All Minneapolis police officers will now be required to turn on their body cams on every single call, around $500,000 a year, and on every single self-initiated activity like traffic stops.
What good is a camera if it is not being used when it may be needed the most?
The announcement comes after Minneapolis faces yet another high-profile police shooting. 1 year ago, Philando Castile gunned down by police outside St. Paul during a traffic stop. And then earlier this month, yoga and meditation instructor Justine Damon shot in her pajamas in an alley behind her home after she had called police for help.
It has been a tough 10 days. It has been a tough 10 days for the city, and particularly for Justine Damon's family.
Neither of the officers involved in that shooting had turned on their body cameras, and no footage of what happened that night exists.
We are not passing judgment on a single officer, nor are we looking at a single event. We are responding to our communities and to recent ongoing assessment.
The acting police chief stresses body cam protocol has been in place for months, but the new policy clears up the law and reinforces that any officer who breaks those new rules could lose their job. Under the new policy, police will still have to manually turn on their body cams, but the department says they're investing in new technology that will automatically activate these cameras, but the process will take a few months. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
A homeless man is still recovering in the hospital tonight, 3 days after being attacked by an alligator in Port Charlotte. 68-year-old Frederick Iman is being treated at Lee Memorial Hospital. He says he was bathing in a pond Monday morning. When he got out, a 9-foot alligator had attacked him from behind. He says he tried to get away as the gator tried to pull him back in. He eventually escaped and walked up to the street to a nearby surgery center. That was convenient, where employees called 911. He says it all happened so fast.
I was kind of in agony. You're having a nice day one minute, and the next minute you're, a bloody mess.
In the attack, Iman lost his left index finger, 2 left toes, and he has injuries to his groin. He says after he's released from the hospital, he plans to go back to Port Charlotte. Hopefully not to those ponds, though. Another health benefit for dog owners. They're even more active, even when the weather is bad. University of Cambridge researchers found older adults who did not own a dog were sedentary for about 30 more minutes a day on average than those who walked their dogs. Even during bad weather, dog walkers were more active than non-dog walkers on the nicest days. They got in an average of 12 more minutes of activity on the wettest days than non-dog owners on the driest days. So there's many benefits. Still to come on your Suncoast News, a troubling new study involving the donated brain tissue of deceased football players. How the NFL is responding to these findings. That's straight ahead.
Fresh out of the box, the Alfa Romeo won us over. We went in skeptical and left in awe of this gorgeous machine. Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee County since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I'm creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big, or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $10 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand, with no surprises, and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received J.D. Power Awards for highest customer service. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317, go online, or visit a Target store today.
It does things that seem impossible, feeling like it could change direction while airborne. Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
The long-term effects can lead to memory loss, depression, dementia, and even suicide. ABC's Maggie Ruley has the details from this study.
111 NFL brains scanned, 110 with brain disease.
It's very, very disturbing.
Those results coming out of an unprecedented new study, ringing alarm bells for anyone who has ever played or has a child playing football.
My freshman year, I had 2 concussions.
The American Medical Association studied the brains of 202 deceased football players from all levels who had shown signs of CTE when they were alive. 87% had the disease. Among former NFL players, all but one had CTE.
This disease is more common than we anticipated. It's common.
The new research comes just 7 months after the NFL finalized a nearly $1 billion class action lawsuit by former players who claim they suffered traumatic brain injuries during their career. The NFL says they've been taking steps to change football culture, teaching kids new tackling techniques and instating more than 40 rule changes to make the game safer.
We're over $100 million in research that is going not just to make football safer. This is going to make all sports safer.
Right now, CTE can only be diagnosed after death. Some former players question if they even want to know the extent of the damage.
If there was something that could show you if you had it while you were living, if there is a test that could do that, I don't know how many would actually take it. I wouldn't want to know.
The author of the study notes that the set of players tested is far from a random sample, since every brain was donated by someone who had already showed signs of CTE. But she says that the numbers are significant. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
Ascenders are back on the gridiron. IMG Academy's football team is now preparing for their season, which starts in just a few weeks. This year's team features 98 players divided into 2 teams. The roster features 20 players who are committed to play at the NCAA Division I schools. ABC 7 caught up with IMG's head coach and one of this year's star players who talked about what makes IMG football so special.
What makes us so unique is that we try and be innovative and find ways to do it, maybe better, or to help kids get more opportunities, when they come here.
Just prepares you for the next level mentally and physically, and then the coaching is great, and then just the love and genuine, and the college readiness, the classes, the schedule, everything.
IMG Academy is coming off an undefeated season and will be playing some of the top high school football teams in the country. They have their work cut out for them. Now let's head over to Bob and take a look at our forecast.
Yeah, the toughest part of their team is finding opponents that'll play them because they're so good. Not a lot of opponents around here would want to play them because they have such a great talent pool right there. Well, the tropical satellite, this is what we're going to be looking at now as we get into closer to August and September. Looking for storms out here. The good news is there's not much to show you. In fact, a lot of dry air. The Saharan dust comes off the African coast there and suppresses most of the storm activity if it's trying to develop. And you can see the Caribbean. Boy, it's clear there. Clear sailing for all the cruise ships down there in Jamaica and Cuba, and also along the west coast there and to Central America, actually the east coast near Honduras and Nicaragua. Quiet in the Gulf of Mexico. A few showers in the southwestern portion. Sometimes that's a favorite area to pop up. But storms by the month. Typically, we don't get a lot in June and July. This is percentage now. Again, about 14% of the storms occur in the first 2 months of the hurricane season, with the majority and the bulk of the storms forming in August and September. Notice October is pretty active too. 17% of the storms form in October, and typically the October storms are the ones that have a tendency to get into the Gulf of Mexico and move up in toward the Gulf Coast states. Well, Anna Maria webcam showing calm conditions out there. Seas running less than really a foot there, and smooth conditions expected and anticipated throughout the day tomorrow for boaters. The radar picture not very active this afternoon. No showers around the immediate coastline, although a string of storms exists from just near Punta Gorda, a little bit scattered through Hardee County and also into northern Highlands County at this time. But this one here now has moved into Punta Gorda, so they're starting to get some rainfall there and a few lightning strikes. We're getting out of that pattern as the last 3 days of not a lot of lightning, but it'll be back, especially I think over the weekend on Sunday. So keep that in mind. That it'll be back and with a vengeance. 98 degrees right now, the heat index. We talked about that. The pressure, 30.02 inches. It's lowering a little bit, but still we're under the influence of this large area of high pressure, which isn't going anywhere anytime soon. I mentioned the wind out on the waters. It's going to be light even over land. We're not seeing a lot of breeze, anywhere from 5 to 10 in the afternoon with a sea breeze developing, but generally pretty calm conditions in the morning. Well, the hourly forecast does call for high temperatures into the upper 80s to near 90 degrees tomorrow, and just a few clouds. Partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies anticipated throughout the day, with a heat index into the upper 90s to near 100 degrees. And your futurecast didn't initialize all that well. We have a few showers there, but you can see that activity kind of moving off to the northeast as we get that westerly component of wind. And then tomorrow, we'll start off with a mixture of sun and clouds throughout the day. A few isolated showers popping up along the sea breeze front in the early afternoon. Those will have a tendency to move off again away from the coastline, and not much going on Friday morning with a few showers out there in the Gulf. But we'll start to see a little bit of increase in moisture, I believe, as the high pressure slowly gets out of here on Saturday, more so on Sunday. Well, nationally, the scene is some cooler air has moved into Wisconsin and into Minnesota and the Dakotas right now, with a weak frontal system and a little quick hitter moving through now, Missouri and parts of Iowa tonight. That will continue to spread off to the east mainly. An old frontal boundary still hanging on over the deep south near Georgia, stretching off toward Alabama and Mississippi, but it's not really cooling things down all that much there. But in the nice mid-80s there in Minneapolis and Chicago and Cleveland, all right there around 83, 84 degrees. Toronto and Boston a bit cooler at 72. And seas will be mostly smooth tomorrow. Seas are right around 1 foot, and looks like winds out of the northwest turning to the west at 5 to 10 knots. The UV index It will be at an 11 tomorrow. Load up on the sunscreen. I know I did today. And a low tide at 10:46. High tide will be at 4:32. Sunset at 8:22. And tonight, partly cloudy, warm and sticky, 679 for a low. And then tomorrow, we'll have warm and muggy conditions again with a rain chance at 30%. Maybe a little bit more shower activity around 90 for your high. Near the beaches, 92 well inland. And the extended forecast is calling for much better chances for rain on Sunday through Wednesday next week. Haley?
Thank you, Bob. Now to Suncoast Traffic Watch. Traffic is backed up on US 41 in the north and southbound lanes near Clark Road. If you're looking for a job, here's an idea. Amazon is looking to fill more than 50,000 positions across the nation. On August 2nd, the company is planning to make offers to thousands of potential employees. Many of these new employees will work at the 10 Amazon.com incorporated shipping sites. The labor market is growing right now, and with back to school and holiday shopping right around the corner, well, even more opportunities. Frequent flyers will soon notice yet another security change. The TSA is announcing that items larger than a cell phone will have to be put in a separate bin during screening at U.S. airports. The new procedures include items like iPads, Kindles, and laptops. The measures are already active at 10 airports and will be expanded to all U.S. airports over the next couple of weeks and months. The TSA says the change affects passengers going through standard lanes, but does not apply to those enrolled in the TSA PreCheck. Some governments in Florida are taking it upon themselves to try and keep television and film production companies here in the Sunshine State. The state program ended last year that offered nearly $300 million in film incentives in order to try and keep more production companies from leaving Florida. Miami-Dade County and the city of Miami are now offering tens of thousands of dollars in subsidies for TV, film, and video productions within the area. So maybe more movies or TV shows being shot here. Entertainment news is next.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
As a singer-songwriter, it's all about creating high-performance art that moves people. Same is true in making gorgeous cars. Fiat designs it. You're the artist.
Choose your palette just about any color combo inside out. No small wonder, state-of-the-art style Fiat.
Now this moves me.
Well, they're playing my song.
Let the art of Fiat move you at Fiat of Sarasota.
I heard about the Dottoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dottoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
This is important news for women who were administered chemotherapy intravenously for breast cancer and then suffered permanent hair loss. The chemotherapy drug Taxotere has been linked to permanent alopecia or permanent hair loss. Some women administered the breast cancer chemotherapy drug Taxotere have suffered from permanent hair loss on scalp, eyebrows, and eyelashes. The FDA has urged doctors and the manufacturer to warn women administered Taxotere of the risk of permanent hair loss. If you or a loved one were administered chemotherapy intravenously for breast cancer and suffered permanent hair loss, you may have a right to a cash award and medical expenses. If you suffered permanent hair loss after chemotherapy for breast cancer, call the law offices of Davis & Crump at the number below right now to find out if you are eligible for a cash award and medical expenses. Call the law offices of Davis & Crump right now. Our first consultation is free, and we don't get paid unless you get paid. Call now. Operators are standing by.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Pop star Rihanna is meeting with French President Emmanuel Macron to talk about education. The president's wife welcomed Rihanna to the Élysée Palace in Paris. The singer is an ambassador for the Global Partnership for Education and is asking Macron to help with funding projects. Their meeting comes after Rihanna directly addressed President Macron on Twitter, asking him if France would contribute. She's also reached out to leaders from Germany, Canada, and Argentina for help. Angelina Jolie says she developed high blood pressure and Bell's palsy last year. The actress-director tells Vanity Fair that she credits acupuncture for her full recovery from the paralysis, which was caused by nerve damage and led to one side of her face drooping. Jolie also opens up about her divorce from Brad Pitt in the magazine's September cover story. Jolie filed for divorce in September of 2016. She says they care for each other and for their family, and they are working toward the same goal. Are you trying to decide whether to watch the Mayweather-McGregor fight on August 26th instead of trying to squeeze it into a packed sports bar or spending nearly $100 for the pay-per-view? There's now another option. Movie theaters across the nation will air the fight between the mixed martial artist McGregor boxing the undefeated Floyd Mayweather. Ticket prices are $40. That is a lot cheaper than going to watch the fight live, which is close to $2,000 a ticket. Well, how would you like a night out with Rose and Jack? Titanic stars Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio are on the auction block at DiCaprio's annual charity gala in France. The winner will get a private dinner with both of the actors, but they have to be available when the stars are, which is sometime in October or November in New York. And that's going to go for, I think, a pretty high price, but for a great cause. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Anyone can jumpstart your car, but for free installation and $10 off Duracell Ultra car batteries, there's no one like Batteries Plus bulbs.
I'll install it myself.
I'd like you to do it.
Visit batteriesplus.com for a store near you.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.